I've given you guys my list for the top 10 best movies of 2018, along with the top 10 worst movies of 2018, which means 2018 is done, and now we are to kick off 2019 by giving you guys my list for the top 10 most anticipated movies of 2019. Although it has been 2019 for a little over a week now, so I am a little bit late with this video, I guess you could say, but I still haven't seen any of the movies of 2019 yet, so technically I'm not. But before I get into my list, once again, gotta go over some basic rules for you guys. Number one, this is not a prediction of how I think these movies will be. This is not meant to be a preview for what's gonna be my top 10 best list of 2019. I have no idea how these movies are gonna turn out. They could end up being horrible for all we know. But that's the best part about going into a new year. We have absolutely no idea how it's gonna turn out. I always love when it's the movies that come out of nowhere that I end up loving the most. And yes, like I said, these are the 10 that I'm most excited for. This doesn't mean these are the only movies that I'm excited for. There are a lot of movies I'm really looking forward to this year. These are just the 10, I guess you could say, that I'm really counting down the days for, that I'm really amped for. So with that, let's get into this list. At number 10, we have Godzilla, King of the Monsters. I really love the first Godzilla. I know that doesn't speak for everyone, but I really love what they did with Godzilla. I really liked the human cast. Kong Skull Island, I wasn't the biggest fan of, but I'm very excited to see a sequel to Godzilla. I thought this movie's going to incorporate a few more of the other monsters in here, like Rodan, Mothra, King Ghidorah especially. I thought they brought in Millie Bobby Brown from Stranger Things to be a part of this movie. I love her as an actress. The rest of the human cast, once again, looks really good, and if nothing else, I'm just hoping this movie gives us a lot of good action between these monsters fighting each other that gets us even more hyped up for the Kong vs. Godzilla movie that is on the way. That's not too much to ask. Just give us that and I'll be happy. At number 9, we have what I believe is the concluding chapter to what I think will be a great trilogy, and that's How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World. The How to Train Your Dragon movies, I think, have easily been DreamWorks' best animations. We've had two absolutely phenomenal How to Train Your Dragon movies, and I'm very excited to see where I believe it's going to wrap up. The animation looks great, the voice acting is awesome, the story looks really good, it looks really emotional. If this is indeed the final chapter, I really hope it goes out with the bang that it deserves. And I'll be able to say we have another great trilogy where all three movies really just kick ass. At number 8, we have Shazam. This is probably the most excited I've been for a DCU movie in a couple years now. The DCU universe has been very hit or miss, but I will say, the standalone movies they've been making the last couple of years, those have really been doing well. Wonder Woman was awesome, Aquaman was really good, and Shazam looks incredibly promising. I think it looks like it's going for a bit of a lighter tone. I like the concept of this kid being able to transform into an adult superhero. Zachary Levi, I think, is the perfect casting to play a kid that's in an adult body. He has that personality, he has the charisma. From what I've seen in the trailers, I'm really able to buy it. This movie looks like it's going to be a superhero version of Big. How can you not look forward to that? Number 7 is a movie that I'm definitely excited for, but I'm also a little skeptical towards at the same time. That's Toy Story 4. The Toy Story trilogy is one of the greatest trilogies of all time. I don't know how you could have done that better. All three movies were perfect. But for me, the way Toy Story 3 ended, it really felt like the conclusion to a story. It really didn't feel like there was much more of a story to be told with the toys. I don't really know where else they can take the story. I don't really know what else they can do. And that's why I am a little bit worried whether or not Pixar is just doing this as a cash grab. They're just like, oh, it's a new Toy Story movie. People are gonna go to see it. It's gonna make a lot of money. But knowing who Pixar is, knowing the track record it has, I really do not think they would have made this movie if they did not feel there was more of a story to be told here. The production has made it sound like this movie is going to be extremely emotional, very impacting, so I'm definitely looking forward to seeing it. I just really hope it's good. At number 6, we have The Lion King. The Lion King is one of the greatest animations of all time. Many will say it's the greatest. And now we are finally getting a live-action adaptation of The Lion King that's actually not live-action, it's CGI, but you know what? It's the closest we're going to get to a live-action Lion King, so I'm calling it live-action. I absolutely love the animation of The Lion King, and I'm very excited to see what a live-action adaptation of it is going to look like. Visually, the movie looks really good from what I've seen in the trailer. I hope the movie is really strong emotionally. You got James Earl Jones back as Mufasa. I really like the rest of the cast. I'm really hoping this movie can be the Jungle Book of this year, be a movie that's awesome, exciting, brings back the nostalgia, and proves that these live-action adaptations are in fact worth it. At number 5, we have the first post-Phase 3 movie in the MCU, and that's Spider-Man Far From Home. I absolutely loved Spider-Man Homecoming. I think it's the best Spider-Man movie we have ever gotten. I still stand by Tom Holland as the best Spider-Man we have ever had. I'm really excited to see what this movie does for Peter Parker and his further adventures. But I have a lot of questions with this movie too, notably where it's going to take place in the MCU. Will it take place after Phase 3? Will the events take place sometime during Phase 3? I can't wait to see what Jake Gyllenhaal does as Mysterio. I think he's going to be a great villain for this movie. Ultimately, I can't wait to see more of my favorite superhero in action. Number 4 is a movie I got a lot more hyped over as 2018 started to wind down, and that's Joker. This Joker movie looks like it's going to be really, really good. I am really, really excited to see an origin story for the Joker. We've never gotten that before. I'm very excited to see how Joaquin Phoenix does as a Joker. I think he's going to be awesome. They got Robert De Niro in this movie. They got Todd Phillips directing this movie, the guy who directed The Hangover. I know this movie actually has nothing to do with the DCEU. It's going to just be its own DC movie. I know little to nothing about this movie, and that's what's most exciting. I just cannot wait to see what they do with the Joker, how he goes from being maybe this one guy who was maybe somewhat normal to becoming this murdering psychopath. And maybe, just maybe, it will find itself a way to tie into the DCU somehow, some way. Alright, so the top 3 movies, these are the ones that I am by far and away the most excited for. Number 3 is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Why am I so excited for this movie? Simple, because it stars Leonardo DiCaprio, who is my favorite actor. It also stars Brad Pitt, another one of my favorites. You got Margot Robbie as the supporting actress. You know how much I love her. But above all, it is the 9th movie written and directed by Quentin Tarantino. Quentin Tarantino is my favorite director of all time. He might honestly be my favorite screenwriter of all time as well. That's all I need. I love his movies. He's got probably the best track record you can have for directing movies. He has yet to make a movie that I did not love. He's got an amazing cast for this movie. I love Leonardo DiCaprio as an actor. I really loved how he and Quentin Tarantino worked together in Django Unchained. Brad Pitt for that matter too. I loved how he and Tarantino worked together in Inglourious Basterds. Now you got those 3 back together. It should make for a really awesome movie. I cannot wait to see this. Really is a shame though that this is going to be Tarantino's next to last movie. I just want this guy to keep directing forever. My number 2 most anticipated movie of the year is one that I think everyone is very anxious to see, and that's Star Wars Episode 9. A lot of Star Wars fans have had varying opinions as to how the sequel trilogy has been going so far. Here's my opinion. I loved Star Wars The Force Awakens. I loved Star Wars The Last Jedi even more. That's right, I loved Star Wars The Last Jedi. Sue me. And as a result of loving both those movies, I'm very excited to see what Star Wars Episode 9 is going to be. Because The Last Jedi did end with a lot of questions. I think everyone's very anxious to see how exactly this movie is going to pan out. J.J. Abrams is back directing this movie, which gives me a lot more confidence in it because I'm really not a fan of Colin Trevorrow. I don't think he would have been the right fit for this movie. I think J.J. Abrams, I think that's going to help it. I'm very interested to see if Luke Skywalker and Snoke will have any kind of role in this movie. I can't wait to see Billy Dee back as Lando. I really want to see what he does in the Rebellion. I really want to see if he develops some kind of relationship with Poe and maybe teaching him how to become a great commander. I'm very interested to see what exactly they do with Princess Leia and the fact that Carrie Fisher has passed away. I can't wait to see more of what Finn does in this movie. I'm also interested in seeing what they do with Rose. I actually really liked her character. But obviously the big thing is I cannot wait to see what they do with Rey and Kylo Ren's storylines. I want to see Rey continuing to become the Jedi that she is meant to be. I really want to see her just be an all-out badass Jedi in this movie. I can't wait to see what Kylo Ren does as the now new Supreme Leader of the First Order. Is he going to have a little bit more of a conflict inside, or is he just going to be 100 times more evil than he already was? I really want to see more of the relationship between Kylo Ren and Rey that we saw in the last movie. I'm excited as hell to see it. I cannot wait to see how the sequel trilogy wraps up. And here we are, my most anticipated movie of 2019 is probably everyone's most anticipated movie of 2019. Avengers Endgame. I am seriously out of my mind losing it excited for this movie. The MCU has been this incredible superhero franchise that has been going on for literally 11 years straight. I really don't think we have had a gap between any of these years where a movie didn't happen. We have gone, I believe, at least one movie every single year throughout this franchise. That's insane. I have at the very least enjoyed every movie that has been in this franchise. Avengers Infinity War was the best start to this culmination culmination that we could have gotten. Now I'm ready to see the second part of this culmination, the conclusion, the official conclusion of this franchise. Yeah, Infinity War was the beginning of the conclusion to this franchise, and it ended on one of the biggest cliffhangers in movie history. And now Avengers Endgame is going to pick up right where that left off, I assume, and it's going to wrap it all up, hopefully, in a nice little bow, and we will have this amazing franchise. I love the title Endgame. I love what the first trailer did. It gave us a little bit to get us excited, but it did not give away a thing. I have absolutely no idea what's going to happen. I have absolutely no idea what the heroes are going to do, because Infinity War just ends on the biggest cliffhanger ever. Like I said, the heroes are literally at their lowest low, and Thanos is at the highest high a villain could be. I can't wait to see Josh Brolin back as Thanos. He's the best villain we've had in the MCU. I can't wait to see what his role is here. I just hope that with the marketing going forward for this movie, I really hope they don't give away any of the plot points. I want them to do what the first trailer did. Just give us one more trailer. Do it similar to that. Don't give anything away. I want to go into this movie as blind as I possibly can. I seriously think this is going to be a movie event for the century. I am so excited for Avengers Endgame. I cannot wait to see this movie. So there we go. That is my list for the top 10 most anticipated movies of 2019. So yeah, let's get 2019 underway. I am stoked. I can't wait to see how this year pans out. Hopefully the month of January doesn't suck as bad as it usually does. I will be getting to the movie soon, so be on the lookout for my first movie review of 2019 shortly. But for now, that's all I'm going to say, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment. Let me know what your top 10 most anticipated movies of the year are. And as always, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you all next time.